When we think about traditional medicine and home remedies, we first think of herbs and home remedies. So how could we start searching? We soon thought that before searching the net, it would be a great idea to ask our grandparents what things were like when they were young. And this is mainly what they said. They were young just after the Spanish Civil War, and back then it wasn't as easy as it is today to go to a doctor. Only a few were privileged enough to have access to a doctor, and even they had trouble. Imagine ordinary and poor people. They had to look after themselves by using some home remedies such as the following. When someone had a cold, they couldn't just take a pill and sleep it off. They had to make an ointment out of different herbs and herbs and rub it on their throats. They used honey and lemon to smooth the cough, or place half an onion on their bedside to get rid of a runny nose. For tonsillitis, they would heat some oil and apply it on their throats with a piece of cloth. They did very peculiar things, like when someone had an ear infection, they would ask a woman who had just given birth for some breast milk. They would place it inside a metal thimble, heat it, and apply it on their ears. For a stomach ache, they would boil some rice, put it between two pieces of cloth, and then apply it on their stomach. Or when they had intestine pains, the best thing they could do was take some castor oil. When a kid got a bump on their forehead, they would wrap a coin in a piece of cloth and apply it on the skin to stop the swelling. For a mosquito bite, they would use ammonia, and they ate olives for travel sickness.
In the past, people had very strong beliefs and superstitions like the evil eye or things that brought bad luck. The evil eye shows similar characteristics in almost every culture, and it consists of an illness that comes from jealousy or envy. Negative energy is carried from the person who feels jealous to another person, and this may cause sadness, headache, stomachache, or backache. The person who feels jealous accumulates negative energy and casts the evil eye on the envied person or their offspring. And babies and young children are particularly sensitive to the evil eye. The most common way to defend yourself from the evil eye is by using a charm or an amulet, by putting an iron horseshoe on the door, by wearing a red ribbon or necklaces with jet or coral.
Traditional plants and herbs have always been an important part of traditional medicine, and their uses are really extensive. For example, traditional Japanese, Chinese, and Indian medicine were known to make the largest use of plants and herbs. Of course, later in history, traditional medicine was introduced in Europe and eventually in the USA, but it was mainly used here. Now, for example, although some plants actually have healing properties, a large proportion of their use has been proven to have little to no effect. So watch out for certain esoteric practices or fake therapies. It's important that traditions don't get lost over time, but it's also important to know that plants and herbs are not a real substitute for modern medicine. Now, let's focus on the good effects of plants and herbs. For example, many parts of the plant are used for medicine: the roots, the leaves, the tender branches, and even the berries. Now I'll mention some home remedies that still work today. For example, if you have a cough, a good thing you can do is fill a large bowl of water and put some rosemary or eucalyptus in it, place a towel over your head and lean over the bowl for about 5 minutes. Also, if you have sore eyes or swollen eyelids, a good thing you can do is wet a piece of cloth in chamomile infusion and place it on your eyes. It will ease the pain and the swelling. Also for burns, aloe vera works good, and honey is also great for minor burns. If you want to fight stress or anxiety, lavender has calming properties, and if you are having troubles with your digestion, ginger and tangerine infusions will do you good. And oregano helps digest too. Now, thyme is wood for stimulating your appetite, and garlic helps prevent hypertension and good blood circulation.
Something that is very much connected with beliefs and with trying to deal with health problems is the existence of quack doctors. In the olden days, sick people used to visit a quack doctor, either because they couldn't afford to visit a real doctor or because of their beliefs in customs. Quack doctors didn't formally learn any particular skills or made academic studies. They had a gift. They might inherit this gift or be born with it. That is why the family paid attention to any sign during pregnancy and childbirth. Crying inside your mother's womb and being born on Christmas Eve or on Good Friday were signs of having a gift of healing. Quack doctors used to treat physical, emotional, or psychological issues, and also love or money problems. They tried to heal illnesses with natural remedies, herbs, and flowers. They also used their hands to relieve pains, and they said prayers that they learned from sacred books. Magic and religion were mixed together with healing concoctions. Being body and soul doctors, quack doctors were always present in villages and churches. Whether their rituals had healing effects hasn't been confirmed by science. In rural Spain, quack doctors and regular doctors have often worked together. There are still around 10,000 quack doctors in Spain at present, but unfortunately they take advantage of people who are desperate to find a solution for their physical or psychological problems.
One way or another, neither quack doctors nor real doctors could have every remedy they prescribed at home. They needed another person, the apothecary, to make medicines, ointments, and concoctions. At first, they had their own space at home. Later, they specialized in selling their products and moved their work to suitable premises to carry out their practices. The premises were divided into different spaces. A larger space that was used as a laboratory. This is where they spent most of the time making their master formulas, and another space used to sell the medicines that they made. They also had another space to store these medicines. Later in time, when industrial laboratories emerged, drugs were produced in one place and then distributed to pharmacies. As master formulas almost disappeared, the warehouse space grew, and pharmacies became more devoted to their customers. When Social Security arose in the middle of the 20th century, every citizen could afford to get their medicines at the pharmacy. As a result, there was a great increase in the sales of regular medicine. When we asked our grandparents whether they went to pharmacies when they were young, they said they did, but the place looked very different from a current pharmacy. From the moment you entered the apothecaries, you could breathe the pain and disease in the air. You felt surrounded by what you were afraid to approach. It all smelled of alcohol, and there were no flowers or garish colors to make the products more attractive. Today, pharmacies seem almost like supermarkets, they said. We are very interested in getting to know about traditional medicine in your countries and how much we share and what's different in each culture. So thank you so much for your attention.